Thank you very much, by the way, for pointing that out. I appreciate it. I might not have caught that. They said, if I recall correctly, I can't remember if this was the last previous President Bush or if it was President Obama. I can't remember which Congress it was that did that, but I remember it was done to, I don't know, supposedly save money and do all sorts of other things. But it's been annoying if you're a community manager, and is probably the number one reason, other than me being an idiot, why I frequently get our downtimes off by an hour for our poor European folks during this time. New office cord, by the way, get a haircut. No and no. Different computer. So, all right.
Yeah, don't get a haircut. Well, it's your hair. You can do whatever you like with it, but your fangirls like it this way. Just...
You gotta stop teasing me about that. People are gonna start thinking you're actually being serious. All right. All right, let's get started here. Hello and welcome to Court of the Rings here on twitch.tv/LotraStream, youtube.com/LordOfTheRings/live, and facebook.com/Lotro. I am Lotro's community manager, Cordovan. Thank you so much for being here. Today we're going to be doing some Q&A. We've got a whole bunch of news to talk about. We've got some things to talk about related to Moriya and a few other things as well. I'll be doing as much Q&A as I can. We'll have the latest on all the downtime compensation stuff. Should have the latest as to our upcoming patch, which we have talked about a little bit on the forums, and a few other things as well. So quite a bit, frankly, to talk about here on this show. Hello, Druid's Fire. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, how you doing?
All right. All right, thank you so much. You were actually at the Cordovan domicile this week. You actually stopped by my house IRL because we're wrapping up something that we're doing next week, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
So you stopped. So what's going on? Next Thursday is a PAX East meetup. PAX East area meetup. You don't need to be going to PAX East to go, although at this point there is not room for you. If you are not already going, I apologize. But next week we're doing a meetup around the PAX East area that Thursday evening. And one of the things that happened with this year's Extra Life, you know, is I lost a friendly wager from the community. They hit 20,000, and I am indeed wearing a kilt to said PAX East meetup. So that kilt, though, got brought over to the house because when you're trying to do things long distance, if you've been checking out, say, Druid's Fire's kiltening streams or whatever, you may have some idea what's going on. But we had to do kind of a final fitting and figure out how to actually, you know, make this thing work rather than just try to get it done over the internet, which, when you're doing actual tailoring, can be a little challenging. I assume. I have not done any actual tailoring since I was in 7th grade and made a sweater in home ec class. But that is my understanding. Is that correct, Druid's Fire?
That is indeed correct. It took 7 hours. I missed beers with McVegan Pins just for you, so you owe us beer. You owe her beer. I don't drink. And yeah, it was a good time. Long drive. I don't think I'm going to be driving 13 hours like that ever again. I'm old.
The number one question from Mech Mulong, am I going commando under it, Cord? The answer is absolutely not.
No, absolutely not. Nope, absolutely not.
So there we go. But you can also attest, having now stopped by my house to do this kind of last minute work and get it all set. Well, first off, it looks great. Thank you so much for your work on that regard. But also, you can actually tell the Lotra community that it is true. Cordovan does not indeed have a swimming pool full of money that he swims in every day.
No. Unless that's like your other house, the one you show off to make people think that you're not swimming in pools of money.
All right, so final word on the PAX East meetup. Here's the deal. We had originally had some larger plans, but they fell through at the last minute, so I had to kind of get together and kind of scramble a little bit to get some last-minute seating. I was able to do it, and it's going to be a pretty good time, but I only have 30 seats. And as of yesterday afternoon, I have, I think, about 30 to 31 seats RSVP'd. Now, the reality is it's almost certain that someone's not going to be able to make it at the last minute or something like that. You know, real life comes in. So, but we're full. There is no room left. I apologize. If you want to hang out, though, and you are in the PAX East area that Thursday evening and you've got time afterwards, there's a pretty good chance the Wagamama will be our starting point, and then we'll probably go somewhere else as space and interest in that of people permit. So if you can't make it, I'm sorry. If you can get a table at Wagamama at the Boston Seaport for that Thursday 7 to 10, you're still welcome to stop by and say hi, but we don't have a seat for you. If you are going, reminder, this is your own food and beverages, but we are going to have some swag and things like that. And that's going to be Thursday starting at 7 o'clock. Typically goes a couple hours-ish. And then, like I say, sometimes it moves on from there as necessary. So, all right, the next big piece of news that I want to make sure we talk about here today is the well, I guess you could kind of call it whatever, apology gift related to this month's downtime. Here is the current status of things. As of yesterday, everyone who qualified, which means you are VIP or premium and logged in within 30 days of our downtime earlier this month, you have been automatically granted 250 Lotro points. Because this was really done through our payment or our Lotro store kind of processor and everything, there is no notification, there is no receipt, and there is nothing in your Lotro store points history to indicate that you have received 250 points. You just have 250 points. So hopefully if that is you and you logged in within the past 30 days of our downtime, which was, if I recall correctly, what was that? 7th now? Something like that? Whatever week that was. Then you should now be set. The other piece is the final piece that we have to deal with is there are still some VIP folks who need their 4 days of VIP extended. And we are working to get that done. Some VIP folks have got that done by now, but that process is ongoing, so it is not yet complete. But that is the only piece that is not yet complete. So everything else should be taken care of, and we did announce this week our coupon code, which is reward...
2019.
Friday. Yeah, reward 2019, and that'll be for that appreciation box. So, and the appreciation box is bound to account. The items inside are bound to account. So you should be pretty much good, whichever character you log into. However, it is one per account, so that does not mean one per server. That means one. So make sure you're on the right server when you redeem that thing. I have not addressed lost mail. Are we ever going to respond to or ignore it? If you are talking specifically about mail that may have been impacted due to that downtime, let's just say you were using it as perhaps impromptu storage or something of that nature, or just holding on to it or doing whatever you needed to do with it, and the time ran out, I don't know that there's anything we can do about that. To be honest, I really don't think there's much we can do about that. I'm sorry. Be careful. Quick question about Moriya Raid. How is it possible that you bug raids that are years old and worked fine for years? Okay, so that one comes from YouTube. That is the next point of business, and that is that we are working on a game patch for next week. Exact day TBA. Actually, exact day TBD, then TBA. That is going to improve the difficulty of those two Moriya raids that we had to close yesterday. Additionally, it should deal with at least some level of balance elsewhere throughout Moriya as well, because we found ultimately a couple of bugs. Basically, mobs were just not getting their proper numbers, and those bugs have now are being fixed. The fix is actually into kind of our internal development environment as we speak, and QA is working on it today and probably through the weekend and Monday as well, because we have a lot of work we need to do there. However, that is set for next week. So if you are wondering what's up when on the Moriya stuff, that should be next week. Otherwise, the Spring Festival is underway. I mean, we just got kind of a lot going on here, don't we? So the Spring Festival is available through April 9th. Yeah, March. My brain has just been gone these past couple of weeks. I've just been too busy, kind of pulled in too many directions. But yes, through, let's call it April, which would be its proper month, April 9th, being shut off at 3 a.m. Eastern on Wednesday, April 10th. And I think that is actually all the news. Is there something I'm missing? I have to admit, this DDO computer is actually not quite as good as the other one. Gonna drop idea. Hopefully help a little bit. I also need to kill some videos that are going here. Minimize some tasks, I believe. Then we'll check out chat, and then we'll get going.
I have a question that Tally just brings up in chat. I was wondering, actually, Fibro Jedi mentioned on Twitter, and I'm just wondering, is it intended that the maze in the Spring Festival no longer has the blur effect on the minimap, because now you can see where you're going?
I don't know. I don't know if that was just a balance change or not. I don't recall seeing a specific check-in or whatever saying that was done, but it could be that was working as intended. I'm going to follow up on that one. What that's officially called, kind of inside baseball term for that, is fog of war. It's not a real proper term, but it basically means that you don't see it until you've been there. And it could be that there's something wrong where it's not displaying, but it could also just be that someone did it as part of a wider series of changes and didn't feel it was necessarily worth its own individual note. No plans, Flow 23 Flow, to introduce T2, T3, Watcher, Filacool, DN on the Legendary servers. Sorry. Wait, Watcher dealing 1 damage was not correct? I know, amazingly, right? Yeah. Any word on plans for a 2019 Imbued Legacy item revamp? So, Romanoir, I think I would direct you to the producer's letter as the latest word on legendary items, along with the things that we've said recently and elsewhere that Rob has said about that. I don't think we've done a lot. We have more to add at this time. Any news I can share about the 64-bit client tests on the Palantir? So far, so good. I've actually seen... I have not been on Palantir myself. I've been too busy, but I have been reading some Palantir kind of posts from Palantirians saying that they're seeing some nice differences, and that is good news. But otherwise, like I said, we would rather not try to set a lot of expectation on this, and rather just see results. So when you are in a position to actually let us know whether it is better for you, that would be the best. So, Phil Newell, I am all over the place in terms of copy-paste errors this week. It's one of my worst weeks for typos in quite some time. I appreciate, sure, Winnicus, that you would have preferred more notice for when Moriya was coming to Legendary than you feel we provided. And maybe don't hear the details of, say, why we're closing specific instances. In this particular case, it's due to some severe balance bugs. You know, frankly, like I just said, the mobs ain't doing the numbers they're supposed to do. So that's the why on that one. Yeah, I will fix that statement on the forums, Phil Newell. I didn't catch that. So I've been pretty busy this week, kind of pulled in multiple directions, and some of my accuracy has suffered as a result. I apologize. All right. I don't know, what else should we mention? Anything else? I think that's pretty good. I've got a completely full inventory, so I need to find a vendor here. Trying to find the nearest person I can sell stuff to.
Right over here.
It is hoped that Barley and Company
This is the part where you troll me by selling all the rep items and crafting mats and all the fun stuff. Now you know why I stuck a pin in you the other day.
Indeed. I actually have a better ring. I suppose I could put on said better ring. Should I be keeping these Weathered Heritage runes of knowledge and stuff?
That's your legendary item level up stuff.
Yeah,
Your game is frozen, by the way.
Is it?
It is.
Oh, it totally is. Huh. I mean, it's not, but it is an XSplit. Okay. Well, you didn't see me sell all that stuff then. I didn't sell anything. You have no idea what I sold. Alright, that should give me enough space, I think. Gosh.
Back along, this goat that I'm riding is the goat of the Moriya Sentinel, available in the Reclaim Moriya bundle, available on the Lotro store. If you get the bundle, you get a box of all kinds of goodies that are bound to one specific character and an account-wide goat that looks like that. And if I recall correctly, you said last week maybe that the lantern on the back of this goat is supposed to light up at night. It just doesn't currently do so.
Correct. That was in the known issues, actually. Yeah. All right. how long will the Reclaim Moriya bundle be available for? I think that is... Are we calling it limited? I don't believe we've actually called it limited.
Red Panda said no, it's no end date.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that was my impression as well then. And Red Panda would be the one to determine that. So, yes, no end date. Which Wagamama is hosting the meetup? This is the Boston Seaport one. It's within walking distance of PAX East, but it's also pretty close to a parking garage that, at least last year, wasn't overtaken by the PAX East crowd because it was just far enough away. So that means if you're attending PAX East and want to go, then you can, you know, take a half-mile walk or whatever. And if you aren't attending PAX East, you should, at least if it works like it did last year, sort of pull up into the nearby parking garage, pay, get out, and walk over to the restaurant. So that would be great. Hopefully it'll happen again this year.
Except you'll be meeting people at the convention center, what, 6 to, you know, lead,
something like that.
Lead us on our merry way?
Yeah, something like that. Typically I'll just wait outside the exhibit hall, or not outside the exhibit hall, but outside the convention center itself, because I don't have a badge this year. And people just meet outside, and we'll kill 20 minutes while everyone gathers and the crowds, you know, do their mad rush out and all that sort of thing. And then we'll just walk on over there. It isn't actually that far a walk. I think it's 5 minutes, maybe is about right, yeah. Alright, so Syndicate Ramsay Bolton. If I'm making some big controversial statement about the content already on the Moriya server that doesn't have Tier 3 that should, that's a totally different thing than whatever. So I guess I'll just not answer your question. I'm sorry. And get the proper answer and then get it to you. All right. Where do we leave off? We are on Chapter 6, Bori's Suspicion. Memorize room plaques throughout the waterworks. So, the waterworks are... Bori can be a real challenge to get around. Where is this?
It's always a little bit of an adventure getting down to the waterworks.
Okay, there we go. Oh, okay. I had my quest thing over it. So it looks like we're basically going southwest. Yeah. Alright.
You could do that, or you could just do the swift travel up to the Chamber of the Crossroads and jump down the well.
No, yeah, whatever you want to do. That's fine.
May Durian return soon to his halls.
Jumping down the well is so much fun.
Mm-hmm. My audio is still low compared to Druid's Fire, so I turned myself down. I'm going to turn myself back up.
Everybody watch out, it's Uger.
Yeah, Oyabella, I am not going to PAX this year. I've been many years. This was not one that it worked out for me to be able to get. Every year, PAX East has just been getting maybe tougher and tougher to get 4-day tickets. And this year felt, maybe it just was me, but it felt nearly impossible. As far as I know, as soon as I knew that I could get tickets for 4 days, I could no longer get tickets for 4 days. So. Yeah,
because PAX doesn't actually announce when tickets go on sale, not even like which day. All of a sudden you see a post saying, hey, tickets are on sale, and they're already gone.
Yeah.
And in my case, I just go get the press badge. Or hope I get a press badge. Where did you go?
I'm just kind of go into the nearest ring to the kind of
Okey-dokey.
south. Yep, unless I grab dagger or something, because I can't get on this.
Yeah, you got something in combat. It's chasing me now.
It is funny that's used as a shortcut. I approve. Only in MMOs do you get that kind of thing. Quick note, programming-wise, I will not be here next Friday. There is a little thing going on that will probably keep me pretty busy. Although, you know, with the meeting up on Thursday now, it's theoretically possible I might be able to make my Friday main show. I don't know. I don't know. I think maybe I should just take a day off.
I think you should take a day off. Because I'm not doing my show.
Clearly, due
we
to
don't
the
know
number of
Corey's
times
doing
I'm
his
calling April March this week, or Lotra Point's DDO points, I clearly need a day off. So there you go. Sorry about that. Room plaque. There we go.
Your character yelling Kazad, Aminu, Ru Kazad reminds me we have a new streamer joining our team.
Right. Indeed. We have a couple, actually, that have kind of gotten on board in recent weeks. If you haven't heard the news, remind me, Duero Scholar's done how many shows now? Can't remember.
He hasn't done any shows on the official yet, but,
but he will be.
we all know
Yes.
him because he's the one who runs the Harnkicker games.
Correct. Well, he also is a, he knows a lot about Lord of the Rings.
Yes, indeed.
Yep.
And about dwarves.
One of the Lotro players who's also a scholar, as it were. But we have other shows as well, other new shows as well. I'm trying to call up my calendar here to try to make sure I don't miss someone. We've got... See it on the Google Calendar. Sorry. I don't suppose you remember off the top of your head, do you?
Middle Earth Maiden just joined the team a couple weeks ago.
Yep, Middle Earth Maiden.
If
Okay,
you
yeah,
add
so I guess
anybody
that's what
else,
it is.
I don't
Middle
know.
Earth Maiden and Duero Scholar are the two most recent. And then I've got a couple on the other game side as well that I've onboarded. I've actually been doing a whole bunch of kind of bringing people onto the Twitches for both games in the past week or two. But that's great. I like doing that. And if you would like to get on, I generally would like you to have a decent level of competence for live streaming. You do not need to be a pro, but I would like you to have at least done it before, and done it enough to kind of work through some of those early days bugs and that kind of thing. Yeah, I don't consider you new, Oogs. I think you're a near veteran now of Lotro stream. every time I say this, it makes me seem like the biggest egomaniac idiot in the world, so let me do it again. I get a couple of PMs every year from people who are like, yeah, I was attending PAX East and I saw you, or I was walking down the, you know, the thing around the PAX area and I saw you, and I didn't want to stop because I didn't know if that was okay. It's okay. You are welcome. If you, for whatever reason, recognize me and want to say hi or talk a little Lotro, you are more than welcome. I can get back on my steed, or my, really appreciate that thread this week, by the way. Nothing. I didn't say anything. Yeah.
Sure you didn't. We got VODs for that, Jer. By the way, since you're here, can you give Dwaro Scholar his green sword? Well, Uger apparently wants us to call Con Security.
It's an invalid username.
The Dwaro Scholar.
Oh.
The definitive, you might say.
Okay, there we go. Northwest.
A direction I did not drive on Wednesday. Oh my god.
So yes, you finally got to meet my cat.
I did get to meet your cat.
Yep.
Your cat is amazing. Why does she put up with you?
That is a very good question.
And I got to meet your kiddo. He taught me some cool stuff about Minecraft.
Yeah.
Sadly, I didn't get to play Minecraft with him because I was busy.
Yeah, no, this was a work trip, really. Man, that
Yep.
That kill did really come together, though. I have to admit, I'm happy with it. It's going to be fun.
Being the crafter, I'm
even
unhappy
if it's a
with
little
it.
embarrassing to see my, you know.
Pasty knees.
Yes, exactly. That was what I was talking about. It's all for fun. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah. Apparently we're starting a dogs versus cats fight in chat. Dogs and cats living together. Mass hysteria! Yeah, it was a good time. It was worth the drive. And I got to have lunch with Sapiens as well.
Oh, yeah,
Though we still have not yet had chicken and waffles.
But this isn't right at all.
No, this is good for an exploration need though. Cord does not have a tiger as a pet cat. He's got a big monster floof.
It's a big 20 pounds of cat. A very dense 20 pounds of cat, shall we say.
And I can confirm it's not all floof.
Yeah.
She is a good kitty, though. She will be featured on the 7-hour final Kiltoning stream.
Yeah.
Took 7 hours. Where we go? Where
It
am
did
I
take
going?
7 hours. And honestly, we could have kept working.
Yeah, there's still a couple things that I need to do to the kilt, so we need to make arrangements for that.
Yeah, I could probably figure that out. But I don't know. I don't know if you do. I actually tried it on the next day just to make sure I wasn't insane, and it was.
You were insane.
Well, I am insane, yes. But with my extra addition for the belt choice, it is working quite well.
Oh, did it work? Did it work?
Yep.
Oh, that's so cool!
Yeah.
That's gonna be perfect for you, dude. I forget. I think I have to go up. Trying to remember where the last room is. Part of the problem with this is
a Maine Coon breed, ish. So have I told you this story? Am I just boring everyone again?
Tell the story anyway because I'm lost and I need to find where we're going.
Okay, that sounds great, and I need to just kind of follow you and figure out where I'm going. So
I'm gonna get you
this
killed by
cat,
spiders.
whose full name is Miss Elizabeth Bennet, but goes short by the name of Lizzie, actually came from my mother's house about 9 years ago. My mother lives in far northern Minnesota, and homesteads. Yes, my mother, who is now at whatever age she is built her own house along with her husband. But it's not that the husband was doing it. They were both literally using power tools and laying foundations and all the rest. And holy moly, I was like, okay. My mother can do something I will probably never be able to do. And I just gotta have to live with that, because holy moly, she built her own house.
Let's
Anyway,
let's be fair to
continue
you
with
as
the-
well,
yeah,
Jerry. I've
yeah.
seen some of the remodeling work you've been doing on your house, so
Yes.
don't sell yourself short.
But that is different from designing and then building your own home, I would say. Nonetheless, as part of living in that far northern section of Minnesota, it gets very cold in the winter, and mice and that are a problem. My mom lives way out in the country, like way out in the country. And so has a lot of kind of wild feral cats, just kind of cats that just over the years have decided that, hey, if I hang out around here, I get food. So that's kind of what's going on there. And she has a lot of cats that just take care of. Oh, we got one more here. Take care of micing and what have you. Did I not read that book?
No, the quest rings aren't going away.
And so there's a litter of about 15 cats one winter that I came to visit with someone, and then we ended up bringing the little kitty home. So Lizzie is not your kind of average little rescue cat or what have you. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I very much believe in rescue animals. But she is a raw, in northern Minnesota, yes, I sleep in 20-degree below zero weather often style thick, big cat. A cat bred over multiple generations to live in the far northern Minnesota wilderness in the middle of a Minnesota winter. So, yes, she is big. They raise them big over there. And she's also got tons of fur.
She's a very friendly cat too. Very very vocal. Meow, meow, meow.
Yep.
So she will be on the Kiltoning final. I haven't decided if I'm gonna cut that video in half, and chop it up into chunks or what. But it was a good time.
On Wardens, I do think that Wardens will get some work. Dasty Snag over on Twitch. The producer's letter, I think, talks quite a bit about our plans for classes. We're being perhaps a little deliberately vague, and have been, because work is done frequently and then released to the live servers when it's in a position to be done, to do so. So it is the timeline, A could be done before B, but B goes out first. But then, no, we're actually releasing content C, and we want to get D in when we do that. So, there are certain, kind of things that make us hesitant to want to have a timeline that would then disappoint you should we not be able to meet it.
Actually, come up this way. We have to get up on the building to be able to go down to those two particular.
But yes, wardens are on that list. Someone had asked, I think it was over on YouTube, the next Bull Roar, will it be the 64-bit client or a game update? That's a very good question. I think that is a mostly decided question, and I would say there is a pretty good chance might be our first 64-bit client test. Would be next.
Ooh.
I'd say there's a pretty good possibility of that. But I wouldn't
exciting.
want to... It's also possible it won't happen, because perhaps something comes up, or engineering says no, not yet, or whatever ends up happening, right? But I think we're almost there, so I think that's certainly a possibility.
Trying to get myself lost, and I'm succeeding at this.
As I just fell down. Gosh darn it.
So did I.
Yep.
Trying to remember how to get down there. I've been on these quests since we brought Corey down for his 14-hour
We went down
run
to the
through
left here, right?
It's to the south.
Oh, to the south?
Yes.
No, but we need to go up the stairs, don't we?
That's what I thought, but, bleh. Chad, help us out here.
Just want to play Hunt the Ring and see where we end up.
Yeah. So we were just in that particular room. Whoa, hello.
So Twitch asks about, what about the use, actually Oogs asked, what about the use for Light of Elendil again? My understanding is we may, in the relatively near future, be having some light crafting that may help in that regard. But I don't know the details. Is Dwarf my favorite race in Lord of the Rings Online? I don't know that I want to say that. It's certainly up there, but I'm also a big fan of hobbits.
Don't go drinking with hobbits. Yeah. Sure you'll have a grand time all night long.
Do I speak Russian? Oh, gosh, no. Yep, sorry. I barely speak English.
True. Aha! I was going to these rooms nearby because it's an exploration deed.
Alright, we should have just, I would think, enough time to hit this fifth one. Which
it should be
actually...
up the hill, I believe.
Oh, yeah, I think we actually... Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying to look on the map myself. Let's see if... I don't know if you made it into the... Yeah, there you go. Say hi, Jeffrey. How you doing?
Hi.
What are you up
Hi,
to?
Jeffrey!
I learned something new in Minecraft. You cannot blow up enchantment tables.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Because that's because you could see obsidian, and you have to use obsidian.
Okay. So what did we do? We actually got some cardboard, didn't we?
Yep.
And we made a big cardboard fort. We took over my living room. We got, so in the office here, at the SSG offices, we got a bunch of new whiteboards in, because frankly the whiteboards we had in our offices even kind of predated the turbine days. So they were old and they needed to be replaced. No, please don't hit. It's making noise on the camera. So we got a bunch of new whiteboards, which means that we got a bunch of huge whiteboard cardboard boxes, and I was able to snag them and take them home. I then used a jigsaw to kind of clean them up a little bit, and we brought them into the living room, and then we used a jigsaw in the living room and actually sawed like iron, like bars into the cardboard and a door that locks, and we turned it into a fort/jail, and it turned out really cool, and we had a lot of fun.
Aha.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry, please tell Jeffrey I said hello, because I know he can't hear me.
Yep, Druid's Fire says hi. Oh, this, are you talking about the DDO poster from back there? Yeah, there's a Lotro equivalent of that, too. And now we just defeat creatures. Yeah. Yeah, we should have time to get this done. Does the kilt have a sporran and a clan crest? I don't actually know what those things are.
No, it does not. It has a crest on it. It's an Atari themed kilt, so Fuji is your crest, I guess.
Okay, that makes sense.
But a sporran is the man purse that is on the front of a kilt, typically meant to keep the kilt from waving in the breeze, and to be like pockets.
So because of my age and shopping habits, I tend to get a lot of kind of, let's just say, sharper image style spam posts over the internet of companies that want me to buy various things. And they never call them man purses. Instead, they call them tactical travel bags, which I think is a pretty hilarious term for a man purse.
The name tactical has been used in GTA 5 on a part of a certain role player that I'm familiar with, who generally does not wear pants. Tactical briefs.
And not that there's anything wrong with that. I constantly carry a tactical travel bag with me. I just don't care if I call it a man purse. But maybe that is a derogatory term, so maybe that isn't very appropriate. It does kind of reinforce certain tropes or what have you.
Well, the kilt that I made for you has pockets, so
yes,
it does not need a sporran. I'm 12 of 12. How are you?
News on Turtle and Watcher, Justin from Twitch. We are working on a fix. That fix is actually, I believe, checked into kind of internal systems right now, and we are working on it, I believe, a little bit more work today and through the weekend, and our plan is to get a patch out next week. I don't want to say a day yet, because that is a little too fluid to really confirm at this point. But it should be next, as soon as we can get it out, basically next week, we're going to be doing a patch to deal with some kind of Moriya balance issues. Specifically, those two. But it will also, because of the nature of the bugs that we're fixing, it should have a wider impact even than that. So.
Yes, a kilt with pockets, because where else is he going to put his dice?
I think this is the one, my friend. We are close to victory.
All right, so here we go next week. Chapter 7, The Drowned Treasury. If not next week, then the week following. And that's going to wrap it up with Court of the Rings. Thanks for being here, Druid's Fire. Good luck, everybody, in future weeks. I'll have more news next week, including a bunch of the pack stuff. So if you're heading to the area, drive safe, be safe, have fun. Perhaps I will see you. And if not, I'll see you within a couple of weeks here for more Court of the Rings. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.